Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Prof.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Prof.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prof.
Really the combined class.
Yes. Okay.
So we'll continue from where we ended last week. Last week, we finished the first session of our work, where we look at the introduction to marketing management. Introduction to marketing management. I said we will use one textbook, and that is Kotler and Keller. Kotler and Keller, Marketing Management, from the 2016 edition up to today. Any version you find is okay with me. How many have bought copies already? How many have seen copies of Kotler? How many have Kotler that is being handed over to them? Yes. How many have copies? How many have seen Kotler? How many have read Kotler Marketing Management? Because that is our reference text. And I presume everybody will have it. We are 76 of us in the class. So the two course reps, are they all here? Dennis. Is Dennis here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Where is the other course rep?
So I'm here, Theophilus.
Theophilus is here, Dennis is here. So it means that the two course reps are here. It's a combined class. Now, Dennis, what did you hear last week when we met? What did you hear in marketing management? The lecture we had last week. What was your take home?
Yes, I just got to know that as there's difference between wants and needs in the way the economists define it, and marketing also have a different perspective with regards to that.
Okay, and, so there's a clear difference between what economics see as needs and wants, and what marketing sees as needs and wants. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Theophilus.
Yes, sir. My take home was the market orientation.
Your take home was the market orientation. What did you take home about it?
The philosophy of doing business, which places the customer at the center of all company activities,
Yes, we said that any business you do, you must have a philosophy of the customer at the center of all the activities you undertake. Yes, we agreed on that. We said it sits on 3 pillars. What are the pillars?
The customer focus, competitor focus, and then the interfunctional coordination.
3 major pillars on which the market orientation concept sits. Remember, there is a difference between marketing orientation and market orientation. Never say marketing orientation. If you say marketing orientation, it means that the firm is orienting itself towards doing more marketing. But market orientation means the customer. And that's the same as the customer orientation. But then, Theophilus said 3 things. What do we mean by interfunctional coordination? Interfunctional coordination. Anybody who can pick that one, because customer focus, competitor focus is easy. Sometimes people lose the meaning of interfunctional coordination. What does it mean? What does it mean? Yes, we've gone to 81. Yes, I can see Leonie.
Yes, sir. We said last week that interfunctional coordination is when the firm is able to bring all the divergent skills to meet the needs and expectations of its customers.
Where the firm is able to bring the divergent skills available in his or her organization to work towards delivering value to the customer. So it doesn't matter where you are working. The firm must be able to harmonize the efforts of everybody towards delivering value to the customer. That's exactly what we said. Thank you, Leonie. All right, anybody who picked something else? Anybody who picked something else last week? Anybody who picked something else last week? We said so many things. Anybody who picked something last week? Yes, Naomi is there. Naomi, what did you pick?
Good morning, sir. I picked that we shouldn't over promise and under deliver. We should rather under promise and over deliver.
Well, thank you, Naomi. Yes, I think I made a specific comment on that. That in reality, never over promise and under deliver. Try as much as possible to under promise and over deliver. Deliver more than what you promised to customers. And then you would have wowed them. Thank you so much. Let me see whether I see another hand up again. Nana Ya Edu. Okay, Nana Ya.
Hello, good morning, Prof.
Hi, good morning, Nana Ya.
Please, I learned about the organizational chart, whereby the customer, at the initial stage, the customer was nowhere in the organizational chart, but in current market, the customer must rather be put on the top of the organizational chart whilst the top management are down. So the customer is at the top before the operation, and the middle management will be at the down of the organizational charts.
All right. Thank you. Now, is it now Nanaya? Yes, I think I made that comment that traditionally in an organizational setup, we think that the people who matter, who have power, are the top management and the middle management. But I said that that kind of thinking is counter to delivering value to today's customers. So you need to somersault such a structure, put the customer at the top, and those who deliver value to the customer, the frontline people, put them below the customer. And then the top and the middle management will all be placed down. They should just create an environment where people who serve customers will be able to deliver to them, rather than creating the environment where they will always be instructing, they will be in charge. I think I said that, and I'm happy that now Nanaya has reminded me that the structure of an organization must be such that the customer is at the top. This kind of structure and thinking is our ways to serve customers, and it doesn't appear in anybody's structure. Yes, I can see Bismarck. Bismarck's hand is up. Bismarck.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Please, you also talked about the delighting the customer, being the new, the satisfying the customer, but you have to delight the customer as well.
Okay. So Bismarck says that, yeah, we mentioned here that the traditional view is that you must satisfy customers. But we said that satisfying customers simply means meeting their expectations. Meeting their expectations. And that is not enough, because we could exceed their expectations. So why do you set a target of meeting customer expectations? And so we agree that the modern way of getting customers, holding on to customers, is to exceed their expectations. And when you exceed their expectations, then we say that you have delighted them. So instead of meeting customer expectations, you must always aspire to be able to exceed their expectations. And in marketing term, we say, Kotler says that you would have wowed the customer. Wow, W-O-W, wow the customer. That's what I think we said then. Priscilla Mensah is also on. Priscilla. Priscilla Mensah is there. Priscilla.
Say, I'm here, please.
Yes.
That the focus of marketing, the whole marketing itself of an organization should be to satisfy the customer and not to make profits. Once the satisfaction of the customer is your focus, profit will also follow.
Exactly. The whole process of marketing in an organization is not about the shareholders. It's not about the owners of the business, but it's about customer needs. Satisfy customers. Once you are able to satisfy the customer, profit will follow as a reward for being able to satisfy the customers. Anytime a company places customer needs at the center of whatever it does, it ends up being profitable as well. So we said that there's an admonition for everybody to put the customer first in all that we do. Thank you so much. Well, we'll follow up. I think people have what we did last week. They understood the basis of the lecture and the message I wanted to carry on. This morning, we'll go to another very short topic. And that topic is called scanning the marketing environment. Scanning the marketing environment, or we call it the marketing environment. And what this topic seems to be telling us is that, look, marketers do not operate in a vacuum. Or marketers do not operate alone. They are surrounded by activities or certain institutions that can affect their ability to deliver goods and services to their customers. So the whole concept of the marketing environment is about monitoring or monitor these institutions that surround the marketing people and try and find out what they present, the threats they bring, the opportunities they bring, so you can take advantage of them and be able to satisfy customers better. That's what the whole marketing environment is about. I repeat myself again, it's about the principle that marketers do not operate in a vacuum. They are surrounded by certain activities, forces, or institutions that could have an impact on their ability to serve customers. A proper understanding of these activities and the opportunities and threats they bring can create opportunities or threats for the business. This whole idea of understanding these institutions is what we call scanning the marketing environment. So if you look at my objectives, you will see clearly that we are going to look at how to track and identify opportunities in the micro and macro environment. We want to identify forces within the micro and macro environment. We want to analyze the opportunities that are available, but we are more concerned with the uncontrollables. I'll explain what this means. Now, we said that before we do this course very well, we'll start with what we call the issue of the thesis, that what I put on, which I call the thesis. In this whole world, the economic environment, we all know that today we have the Asian tigers, Asian economic power. Now the power of the world has shifted. The power of the world, the economic power of the world has shifted to Asia. With countries like Vietnam now making huge economic waves. We also know that in our environment today, in our economic environment today, there's what we call the rise of trade blocs. The rise of trade blocks. And we have the trade blocks are countries that come together with special arrangement and agreement among themselves. That let us have a common tariff among ourselves, and then against all others, we can have a different tariff structure for all others. Now you have the African Continental Free Trade Area, where it brings African countries together. And when these countries come together, then they are going to have a common tariff policy against them. And all non-Africans, they will have another tariff structure for them. That's what we mean by African Continental Free Trade Area. And its capital, its headquarters has been moved to Accra. As to whether we can achieve it, we can achieve what it stands for, because the whole idea is that if we put all African countries together and we have a common market like the way the EU has, then our market will be the biggest in the world, because we have our GDP of 4 trillion. 4 trillion. We don't need to go anywhere. But you know that the challenges that is facing this country. Nigeria is refusing to sign, even though in principle or in theory they have agreed that they will be part of it, but they are not signing the details. And I'm sure you know why. Nigeria thinks they are superpowers. They are a powerhouse in Africa, and they are looking at what they will gain rather than what they will lose rather than what they will gain if they join. You know, the fear is that a lot of people will take advantage of them, come and do business with them, but if they want to do business with others, there's very little prospect for them. For example, take Benin. What will Nigeria buy from Benin? But Nigeria's economy is huge for Benin. So they are looking at what they will lose rather than what they will gain. And I'm sure something happened in the European market, where Britain felt that they will lose more if they become a member of the European Union. They will lose more than gain, because they feel that their country is attractive to almost all the Europeans. So they will move, especially the Eastern Europeans, they will move and come and live in the EU. So they've decided that the euro, which is a currency of the European Union, they will not use it. They will still use their pound. And eventually they've now voted to exit it. Clearly, that's what Nigeria is also doing. They are looking at their losses. But if their losses will be Africa's gain, then that will be better for all of us. Okay, we also know that we have what we call the international monetary crisis. In 2008, there was a huge monetary crisis in the world where people could, it was currency crisis in the world, monetary crisis in the world. And economies went down. Today, we are happy we are back. Then again, we have the use of barter and counter trade, the use of barter and counter trade. In the world today, goods are exchanged for goods. And you have that's the barter, but we have what is called counter trade, where you do business with me, then I also do business with you. So you have a lot of countries in the world. You go to them for loan. They say, well, we'll give you the loan on condition that you buy all the equipment from our country. That is counter trade. But we all believe that some good news is coming because there's a move towards market economies. Almost everywhere in the world now, dictatorship is gone. It's the forces of demand and supply that dictates what must happen. Then you have what we call global lifestyles. Global lifestyles. People have done studies and they found out that in the capital cities of the world, the youth are behaving the same. In other words, they are listening to the same music, they are watching the same movies, they are in the same dresses, jeans, and then they are wearing the same things, sneakers and the rest. Clearly, what it means is that there's global lifestyle, but they are eating the same food. McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, the youth are eating the same. So there's what we call convergence of the youth culture. The youth in the world are behaving the same. That gives a whole big market. You just produce goods and you don't worry about differentiating them. So take iPhone, for example. It has not been differentiated at all. The same phone, and it's selling everywhere in the world because you have global lifestyles. Take this in mind. And then you have the democratization of the African continent. Yes, apart from some few Africans who are still hanging on to power, the rest of the African continent is in democracy. Democracy means that we'll be working with the rule of law. Nobody can wake up and begin to dictate. No. Gradually, most of the countries will see what we are doing in Africa. That is the thesis to this economic environment or economic environmental forces. What is it? Is this marketing environment issue that we are interested in? We are saying that the marketing environment are the actors and forces within the company's environment which affects its ability to deliver value to its customers. And is divided into two. The micro environment, which is like the internal environment, the forces that are closer to the company, and the macro environment, which are the societal forces. So they are further away. Micro environment and macro environment. Divided. So when we're talking about the marketing environment, we are talking about the micro and the macro. The micro are the forces that are closer to the company, while the macro are the forces that are external to the company. But we should also note that developments within the company or within this environment can create opportunities or threats for the company. What is required is constant environmental scanning. Constant environmental scanning means at every opportunity, you must be monitoring what is going on in the environment in order to adjust your marketing strategies to be able to take advantage of opportunities and neutralize the threats. So when we talk about marketing environment, we are just talking about the actors and forces within the company's environment which affects its ability to deliver value to its customers. And is divided into micro and macro. And we are saying that developments within the environment can create opportunities or threats for the company. Now, what is required is constant environmental scanning or constant environmental monitoring. So you know the developments that are happening for you to adjust your marketing strategies to take advantage of them. So, as I told you now, the marketing environment is divided into the micro and the macro. So first, we'll look at the micro environment. The micro environment. And like I said, the micro environment is made up of the forces that are closer to the company. And because they are closer to the company, every company in a way can monitor and control them. So what are some of these micro environmental forces? Number one, you have the customers. Every organization must have detailed plans to satisfy and delight its customers. But they are the people who buy the end products of the company for either their personal consumption or to sell to others. To be able to make progress in the company, you must identify who these customers are. You must identify what their needs are and deliver appropriate value propositions to these customers to be able to win them. We all know what the customers are. There's one word that we use to be able to satisfy and keep customers. If you want to keep customers, there's only one word we use. What word is that? If you really want to win your customers, there's one way of doing it. What will you do to hold on to your customers? Yes. What will you do? You have customers. You want to hold on to them. What do you do? And I said,
please, we can do customer service management.
Customer service management.
Yes, sir.
No,
So
that's
I think
not the word.
you will exceed their expectation by delighting them.
I said I'm looking for only one word.
Delight.
Delight. If you want to hold on to your customers, you must delight them. You must exceed their expectations. And when I say I'm looking for only one word, it means you must delight them. When you are delighting them, you are giving them something more than what they were expecting. And once you are giving anybody something more than what they were expecting, you are wow them, and you are likely to hold on to them for the rest of your life. And we all know that in marketing, the longer you keep customers, the more profitable they become. So customer lifetime value means a lot to marketers. Hold on to the customers because they become more profitable the longer they stay. Then you have suppliers. These are the companies, the individuals, the institutions that supply the company with all the inputs they require in order to satisfy customers. We call them suppliers. Now, if we need suppliers, then what are we going to do to hold on to suppliers? We know who the suppliers are. What are we going to do to hold on to suppliers? Yes. If you want to hold on to your suppliers, you know suppliers, they provide you with the inputs you require to be able to satisfy customers. Either they are raw materials, either they give you labor, either they give you money. All this are part of the supply chain. What will you do to your suppliers if you want to hold on to them?
What of prompt payment of goods supplied?
Prompt payment. What are suppliers interested in? They are interested in being paid. So prompt payment is key for all suppliers. That's one. Prompt payment for the services and products they delivered. That's one way of meeting their needs or meeting suppliers in the chain. What else will you do to suppliers?
So we can also channel them as partners.
Yes, your suppliers must be seen as part of your partners. That is, if you succeed, they must also succeed. You can't succeed and your suppliers are suffering. No. That's why Toyota, what they do, they do what we call lean supply. Only few people in the world supply them for everything they buy. Because Toyota has its own employees working in the firms of the suppliers free of charge. They pay their salary, but they work in the firms to ensure that whatever they supply meets the Toyota specifications. So two things have been said about suppliers: pay them promptly and treat them as partners in the business. Okay. Number three, we have what we call marketing intermediaries. Marketing intermediaries. Who are marketing intermediaries? What are marketing intermediaries? Anybody to help us with the meaning of marketing intermediaries? Marketing intermediaries. Yes. Francis.
So they are the people that act as an agent between the customer and the supplier.
They act as an agent between the customer and supplier.
Yeah.
Nathan, please no. Yes. Anybody with an alternative view about suppliers? Yes.
They include the media and
okay,
other...
so let's talk to Frank. Frank, can you tell us what you mean? When we talk about intermediaries.
The marketing intermediary, I think they facilitate the marketing process.
They facilitate the marketing process. Well, I understand what you said, but the class did not understand you. So is there a way by which you can make yourself clearer? And Bismarck should get ready.
They help in getting the goods to the final consumer.
They help to get the goods to the final consumer. Okay. Well, thank you. Let's look at Bismarck.
Sir, please, I would like to try. Are they the wholesalers and the retailers?
No, they are not wholesalers and retailers. And at Adam, do you want to add something?
Yes, please. They create awareness about product to final consumers.
Thank you.
Or users of a product.
Yes, thank you. No, all the answers you've given, nobody is wrong, but that is not the answer I'm looking for. Now, take the company, okay? Let's take company A and take customer B. Now, all those who come in between them, like somebody said, to facilitate the marketing process, all those who come in between them to facilitate the marketing process, they are called marketing intermediaries. So they don't come between the supplier and the customer. No, they come in between the company and the suppliers, the company and the customers, sorry. So take the company, take the customer. Look at all those who come in between them. Wholesalers and retailers may be one, but they are not all. Other intermediaries are there. Transportation firms, advertising agencies, marketing research firms. All these things help us to facilitate the marketing process between companies and customers. So they are in the middle between the company and the customer. Marketing intermediaries are in the middle. Are you clear with me now about marketing intermediaries? They are between the companies and the customers, and they help in the title transfer or the marketing process. So when we talk about marketing intermediaries, like I said, we are talking about wholesalers and retailers who are in the distribution side. Yeah, we are talking about the advertising agencies who help us to carry messages to customers. We are talking about marketing research firms who conduct research, get to know what customers need and give them to their manufacturers. All this are part of the marketing intermediaries. And to treat them fairly, but you must treat them as service partners. Treat them as service partners in a chain, so that when you succeed, they must also succeed. Pay them well for all that they are doing for the company. That is marketing intermediaries. Now let's look at competitors. Yes, there's always confusion about who competitors are. Can somebody tell me who are competitors of a business? Who are competitors? Yes, who are competitors? I've seen 2 hands up. Yes, I've seen. Francis, is your hand up? Francis, if your hand is not up, then please drop it. Okay, Rainy is here. Rainy.
Sir, competitors are people they are people who produce similar goods and services as we do, and then they are competing with us for the same customers. So more like they produce close substitute to our products.
Okay, competitors are those who produce close substitutes to our product. Okay. Adam.
Please, competitors are companies or industries that are in the same firm and producing the same product or rendering the same service to same customers. So in this case, they compete either in terms of quality of their product and satisfaction of customers, or either market share.
Thank you. Sadiq.
Competitors are people in the same industry as you.
Competitors are people in the same industry as we. Okay. Now, let me then ask you a simple question.
Okay.
The University of Ghana Business School, we are into producing graduates of business education.
Mm-hmm.
Then Wisconsin University is also here on our left.
Yes.
Doing the same thing. In a sense, are we competitors?
Okay. Yes, because it boils down to the service you're providing. So people choose Wisconsin over you because of some things they are doing that makes their service distinct. And people also choose Legon. People choose Legon because we are the premier university, and then people choose Wisconsin because of another thing. So I'll say they are both competing against each other.
Is this Sadiq who is speaking?
Yes, please.
Okay, Sadiq, thank you. But let me leave it out to students. Is it true that we are competing with Wisconsin, Legon? Is it true that we are competing with them? Now, let me bring the example clearer. Now, let's say that we all know what Papaya stands for at Tesano. But before you branch to Tesano, Papaya Tesano, there's another guy selling check rice there. Are they competing?
No.
Why do you say no? Well, that is it.
The levels are not the same.
The levels are not the same.
Papa is way ahead of that check seller.
Okay. So that is what Frank is saying. Then who is also talking? Leonie.
Yes, sir. So I also think that they are not competitors because their vision is not the same. They have two different ways of approaching their business and two different aspects or prospects of their business.
Okay, so clearly, what do you want to add?
Say, I'm looking at the brand. I think Papaya has a stronger brand than the check seller.
Okay, so you think that, so are they competing or they are not competing?
So they are not competing.
Okay, Theophilus.
Sure, they serve different, they have different clientele base, so they are not in the same competition, although they are in the same market, but they have different clientele base.
I think somebody's hand is there.
Yes, it was mine. It was similar to what you've said.
Okay. Indogbe, do you want to talk?
I was going to say the same thing. That
okay.
The structure is different. Papaya is a big brand. Papaya seller is something small, and then they are focusing on different customers. So,
but people's in the initial stages, people say, okay, let's say Erasmus, Kwanzaa, Erasmus.
So I think the does not pose any greater threat to Papaya. So they are not really competing. Even sometimes in the same industry, when two companies are rendering the same services, if the other one is maybe smaller to the extent that it does not pose any threat to the bigger one, it doesn't really make it a competition.
Okay. So now those of you who are saying that firms that are in the same business, Papaya and the check seller are in the same business, rice business. But what people are telling me is that they are not competing because one is not posing a threat to the other.
Sir, I disagree.
Who are you to disagree with us? What is the name? Let's listen to your voice.
Sir, Dennis, I raised my hand earlier. I just wanted
Dennis, let's listen to you. You have the right to disagree with us. But tell us why you disagree with us.
One thing is they are potential. You know, when you are in a company, you have the actual competitors and you have potential competitors. So
the question I ask is, are they competitors?
Yeah, to some extent they are competitors. That's what I think.
I don't want to some extent. Are they competitors or not? Okay. Now, when we talk about competitors, yes, firms in the same business, operating under the same conditions, and are capable of switching customers in between them. So the firms must be in the same business. They must be operating under the same conditions, and they should be capable of switching customers. Then we say they are competing. So yes, if you all agree, in fact, somebody said the levels are different, it means that they are not operating under the same conditions. And which check can switch a papaya customer? That is when you leave the house, you say you're going to buy papaya. You get there and you see the check, you say, I won't go again, let me buy and return. Now, whether Legon and Wisconsin are switching or not depends on what the customers think. When you were buying form to come and do your MBA, did you also think of buying forms to go to Wisconsin? If you didn't think about that, then they can't compete with us because they are not capable of switching our customers. But assuming you bought a form or you decided to compare Wisconsin and Legon, then we will say we are competing. So if students don't compare us, then they are not capable of switching our customers. So we are not competing, even though we are in the same business. We are not competing at all. The levels are different. In fact, in Legon, what I know is that anytime we are assessing our strategies and we are looking at company or business schools that we are comparing them with our prices, we don't look at Wisconsin at all. But we don't see them as capable of switching our customers. So they can be charging X, who still charge A. That is the reality of how companies operate. For us to say that you are competitor, you must be in the same business, the levels must be the same, and then they should be capable of switching your customers. And we all know how Africans think about competitors. Competitors are your rivals. How do Africans think about managing their rivals? Or how do we think about managing our rivals? In Africa, how do we think about our rivals? Africans in general, how do we think about managing our rivals? Do we pray for our rivals?
No, please.
In Africa, we don't pray for our rivals. We invite curses on them. So one way of managing your competitors is to ensure that they are destroyed. Destroy them, outwit them, destroy them. But wait a minute. It's not always good to destroy competitors. In fact, in Africa, in reality of business today, firms are collaborating with their competitors to make the pie bigger and share. Firms are collaborating with their competitors to make the pie bigger so that they will share. I'll give you a typical example. Nokia, the Nokia company that manufactures the Nokia phones, is based in Switzerland. Oh, did I say Switzerland? Finland. Then Sony is in Japan. Then again, you have Ericsson, is in nearby Sweden. But Ericsson realized that there's no way he can fight Nokia. So Ericsson went all the way to Japan and told Sony that Sony, individually, we cannot fight Nokia. Let's put our resources together. Let's put our complementary resources together. Let's work together and make the pie bigger so we can fight Nokia. That arrangement is what we saw with the Sony Ericsson mobile phones that came. Sony Ericsson mobile phones that came. Unfortunately, they made a mistake. They thought that, look, their network, the telephony business was coming to an end. So they asked their engineers to concentrate more on the development and production of underground cables. Even though they are leading there, they are not able to withstand Nokia. Nokia also made a mistake. They sold their business. They realized that no, Nokia is the spirit of Finland. So if they sell Nokia, Finland no longer has a business. Therefore, they went back, bought the whole thing, and Nokia is back in business. But they are not able to go as they go. They were going, no. So what we are saying is that now think about collaborating with your competitors rather than killing their businesses. When you collaborate, you can make the pie bigger. In marketing today, there's what we call alliances. Formation of business alliances, where firms pool their complementary resources together, make their pies bigger for them to enjoy. Excuse me. I'm sure it's clear that don't only think about destroying your competitors. Think more about how to collaborate with them, make the pie bigger so you can share. Okay. Now, so the solution to competitors is either you destroy them, that's a traditional view, but now think about collaborating with them. I can see two hands that are up again. Rainy, do you want to make a contribution? Or it's
No,
an
sir.
old, it's an old hand. Okay. All right, thank you. Then I can see, yes, Ambrose Edward Chegan.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Edward.
Sir, so I was just thinking about the cement industry in Ghana.
Yeah.
With the introduction of Jata Cement,
yeah,
there seems to be some collaboration between the cement industry to inch up prices anytime they think that the forex or the foreign exchange is not so good for them. Is that also, can I also be considered as a good collaboration, or this one they are stifling customers?
In fact, it's a cartel now. That is why when all these Dangote and Co were coming in, people were happy. And I don't know why Ghana as a country decided that they will wash out their shares in Gassem. So Gassem became a purely private company owned by Norwegians. It used to be a joint venture between Ghana and Norway. But we have sold our shares to them. And every time they would just be inching up prices. So when these others were coming in, we were happy. And they have to stabilize the prices for some time. Now, all of a sudden, boom, they've gone up. It's a cartel because they are basically the only suppliers. Maybe Jata is the one that is going to solve our problems for us. If they become truly Ghanaian, then they will resist these increased prices and think about customers. And I'm sure they will solve the problem for us. But why we are not in the cement business, only God knows. Harrison.
Hello, Prof.
Yes, Harrison.
So at what point do we have indirect competitors?
Well, you see, competition may be direct. In the fourth lecture, today is our second lecture. In our fourth lecture, I'll teach you competitor analysis. The third lecture is our marketing strategy, development of a marketing strategy. The fourth lecture is competitors. So when we get there, I promise you, all these things will come up. All right. Then I've seen listing upon Stephen. Listing, your hand is up. Oh, Leonie is there. Leonie.
Yeah, Linton. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, Linton.
Good morning,
yeah,
sir.
Linton.
Yeah, please. My question is: if you are the market leader and you have the large customer share, So is it advisable for you to, collaborate with the competitors?
Well, this is a practical case, and we use that same used to be our market leader. They had the market share.
Yes.
But were they collaborating with other people? No. So they are going solo. So normally market leaders will not like to collaborate.
Okay.
Look at what is happening in the mobile phone industry. MTN is not collaborating, but Tigo and Airtel. That time Tigo was number 3 and Airtel was number 4.
Yeah.
Why don't we collaborate so that we go closer to MTN? We beat Vodafone. But after the collaboration, it's 2 companies that are working together. There could be so many challenges in making the collaboration work. That's why sometimes at the end, you can collaborate all right, but the results will be disastrous.
Okay.
Yes. The good thing is that I did my PhD in the field of alliances, collaboration among companies. So I know countless companies that have collaborated and the results is disastrous. It was disastrous. Let's listen to Kelly, Leonie Kelly.
Yes, so my question is, in a world where the customer has the upper hand, and is it safe, for example, to consider the example we took of Papaya and I don't know if you said check seller. In this case where the seller actually offers quality services and good products, like maybe the food is good, and by word of mouth, the customers are able to I tell my friend, this place is good, let's go there. Is it safe for Papaya to consider them as a competitor, or you just neglect them? Consider them as a competitor and form alliances with them, or you just consider that you're bigger than them and you move on? Does that not pose as a threat to your business?
Yes, if you ask me better, my view is that Papaya should not worry itself about check rice sellers.
Then what if you realize that a lot of people tend to go there, even though their marketing is not as big as Papaya, but the customers are marketing the business themselves? I don't know.
The reality is that if I take my children and I'm driving them to Papaya, I will never stop at a check place. Because I don't see them as competing. They don't provide the food in the same environment, in the same standard. The levels are different.
Oh, okay.
If you do that, then you are worrying about people you should not worry about. So whether you like it or not, they are also in another business segment. So when you want to worry about your competitors, please be careful. Know the kind of competitors you worry about. Dennis, what do you want to add?
Yes, it's a quick question. Actually, you talked about collaboration, how companies should merge.
Oh, we've lost Dennis.
Are we also not, promoting or encouraging this, come to?
Oh, Dennis, we are all missing you.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, okay. The short is, once we are encouraging alliance and collaboration between companies, are we not also encouraging cartels? Because once they
Yes, you see, let's say that let me
merge, that they become a force to reckon.
Yeah, let me ask you something. I am Toyota. I'm in Japan. I want to come to Ghana. I don't have the network, the chain of distribution are nice. I come to see Kantaka. Let's say Kantaka has about 50 distribution networks in Ghana. Instead of coming to Ghana to start, I can go to Kantaka. Kantaka, look, let's do an alliance. I can come and put my cars wherever your car is. And then I can also teach you skills for manufacturing cars. This is what is meant by collaboration. So collaboration does not mean let's come together, let's put our business together, and begin to cheat people. No, collaboration means that let's strategically align our businesses so that you benefit our benefits. And that is what is ruling the global world now. When Toyota was going to North America, the only way they could go was to go and talk to an alliance called the NUMI Alliance. And so Toyota parked its car in all the outlets of General Motors. And in return, General Motors learned the skills of manufacturing small cars from Toyota. They both benefited until Toyota had found out that now they know America well. They know North America well. On their own, they can break. So they put the end to alliance and went solo on their own. So alliances are meant to provide valuable knowledge to the firms. But if your only reason for going to alliance is to provide cash, be very careful. Once your competitor has enough cash, he walk away, he doesn't need you. So go into alliance and provide something that is more than cash. If a local firm is coming to Ghana, and because the Ghanaian system is not well known, he decides to form an alliance so that to gain local knowledge. If he gains the local knowledge, he doesn't need you again. He will move on solo. All right. Now, so competitors, we are saying that, yes, you could kill them, but it's better if you collaborate with them to make the pie bigger and enjoy more market share. Then you have the publics. Who knows what publics mean? When we talk about the publics in marketing, what do they mean? In fact, when we talk about publics in marketing, we say all those with an actual or potential interest in your business. All those with an actual or potential interest in your business, they constitute the publics. And the simple truth is that because they have an interest in your business, you can't ignore them. So in most companies, they have a special unit that designs periodic information to these publics in order to win their goodwill. So when we talk about publics in most companies, they are talking about all the potential and actual people or institutions that have an interest in the business they do. So that if you need their cooperation for your business to succeed, then you must disseminate constant information. So companies have what they call the public relations department, where all they do is to disseminate information to their publics in order to gain their support. Now, people are calling it the public affairs department. Instead of public relations, they call it public affairs. The University of Ghana, we have a public affairs unit where we try to disseminate information to our publics. The University of Ghana is owned by two people, lecturers and students. Lecturers and students, we own the University of Ghana. All others are non-members. So when we are talking about the publics, then we are talking about people outside the lecturers, the faculty, and the students. That's why in University of Ghana, we have junior members and senior members. Now, if we talk about our publics, then it includes parents, employers, government, the media. So they are interested in, when you assemble about 30,000 people together, the media must be interested in what is going on. Whether we are harassing them, we are harassing the students or not. Then you have the people of law. The law. The people of law are public because they are the landlords of the university. So what we do is that every day, the public affairs people must be disseminating timely information to these people in order to win their goodwill. Unfortunately, the University of Ghana, we went to sleep. So when we gave our land to the Panis and the rest to put up their hostels, the La people wrote to the university and said, we gave you the lands free of charge, no profit. Now that you've given the lands to people to put up hostels and charge students, we want to find out what portions of this profit should come to us. They caught the university on the wrong foot. That is what happens if you ignore your public. Legon found a clever way to invite them, took them out for dinner, and apologized and told them that, look, we've given our lands on BOT principles. They will build the houses, they will pray them, they will recoup their costs and hand them over to the university. Settle the matter there. But clearly, never go and sleep. Disseminate timely information to your public. Please give me some few minutes, I'll be with you. All right. Let's look at the last force in the microenvironment, other departments. See, marketing, we have to work with other departments to be able to deliver our goods. These two departments are the finance department and then the production department. We have to work in collaboration with them. Unfortunately, this department believe some of them behave as if they are our bosses. Marketing must learn to work with these departments to be able to deliver goods. Finance department simply because they approve or they pay some of our budget for us. But they are looking into too many things. And then operations, they manufacture the goods for us. And the goods must be ready when we need them. Marketing must learn to work closely with these two departments so that we can deliver goods to customers as and when the need arises. Okay. All these micro-environmental forces are not too important. People can manage them, so they are not too important for us. For me, what is important is the macro-environmental forces. The macro-environmental forces. Now, the macro-environmental forces are the forces that are external to the company. They are societal forces, and they may affect all firms. What you need to do is to be monitoring these forces and see what opportunities and threats they present to the company. And the first one is what we call the demographic environment or the demographic forces. The demographic forces deals with population-related issues. So we are talking about the worldwide population growth. In other words, countries with bigger population, they have the market. So that the bigger the population, the bigger the market. That is why all the emerging economies, one common characteristic of all emerging economies is that they have the right population. Take China, take India, take Brazil, take Russia. All of them have one thing in common, huge population. Even Mexico, take them, huge population. Then the population age mix. Think again in the demographic environment, think about the population age mix. Yes, the age groups within the population matters. Take Ghana as an example. Some few years ago, We have what we call the kiddie market, the kiddie market. There are people in Ghana, we call them the millennials, all those who were born after 2000. They enjoy a different set of rules. But their parents are more intelligent. Because under our generation, where our parents could have 20 children, hoping that some will die and some will survive, their parents will have 3, 4 maximum, and give all of them education. Now see, the banks at a point in time had kiddie accounts, children accounts in the banks. But they know that the parents of these children are more careful. Think again about the ethnic markets. In the US, there's ethnic markets all over the place. The African American market, the Asian market, the Latino market, and then the Caucasian market. These are different ethnic groups who believe that they have different needs. So one of the things that you should worry about in the demographic environment is the ethnic market. If the people are different in their consumption patterns, then you see different markets emerging to serve them. In Ghana, even though we have different languages, we don't have ethnic markets. We all work the same market, buy the materials, and mix them the way our culture demands. So ethnicity is not a major issue in Ghana at all, a major Consumption issue. If you enter the chop bar, people from all kinds of life enter the chop bar. So you can't say I'm preparing the chop bar for perhaps Ashantis or no. Everybody. The Ghans, we all know the Ghans like kinky. But you can meet an Ashanti who loves kinky more than a Ghan. You can meet an Ashanti who likes fufu more than a. You can meet a Ghan who likes fufu more than Ashanti. So clearly, we don't have problem with ethnicity as far as our consumption patterns are concerned. Break time, when we finish this lecture, people go and eat. Whatever people eat, we base on other issues rather than ethnicity. Your income level, where you are working, and the rest. They will determine what you buy rather than your ethnic affiliations. Then the other thing we should worry about in the education, in the demographic environment, is the educational groups. Education now has become a major consumption factor. So the way educational groups are structured in the society determines the consumption of certain groups. Now, let's assume that Dennis and Theophilus decide that 5 years from now, they are organizing a homecoming in Akosomo for all this class. They are bringing people there. Now, if people go there and do not show that education has brought new life to them, everybody will be worried. Because now education is not supposed to give you knowledge alone. It's supposed to give you knowledge plus earning power. There's the MBA education culture, the second degree education culture. That is now what is ruling Ghana. People believe that first degree is no longer enough. One of the demographic environmental forces is the household patterns, which are called the changes in household patterns. I observed the household when I was growing up. I realized that my mother was in charge of managing the house. My father was in charge of looking for money for the home. And everybody was happy with his or her work. Today, the households have changed. So you don't have a working father and a housewife. Now you have a working mother and a working father. Unfortunately, this behavior has brought changes in the way we manage our houses. Now, almost every house has every middle income house has a household. Things that were luxuries today are now necessities. I'm talking about the washing machines. I'm talking about the blenders, the microwaves. They've all become necessities in our homes. because everybody is working. But how do we finance these things? If they become necessities in our homes, then they must be financed. When we come to the economic environment, we should talk more about this. Now you have what we call the geographical shift in population. People are now moving from the villages to the urban centers now in search of non-existing jobs. So one of the characteristics that is happening in Africa is the urban poverty. People in the urban centers are becoming poor because they move from the villages, the cities in search of non-existing jobs. All these demographic forces is creating a shift of mass market to micro market. People are becoming individuals with specialized consumption patterns. The second here is the economic environment. In fact, the economic environment is simple, it deals with money. And Kotler says that there are 3 types of economies. You have the subsistence economies, and there are economies where people produce for consumption. If they are lucky, some is left, they sell them for cash. But the major goal of production is for consumption. They consume they produce raw materials for consumption. They have raw material exporting economies. Some countries specialize in producing raw materials, but exporting them in their raw state. So Ghana, we produce cocoa, and we export majority of the cocoa in its raw state. The 2 economies, income levels are normally low because we don't add value to anything. They have the industrializing economies, countries in the emerging markets who are now adding value to their goods. So you have China, Brazil, Russia, Mexico, India. These are industrializing economies because they are trying to add value to their goods. Income levels have suddenly shot up these economies. I have the industrial economies, the G8 or G7 or G5, G6, I don't know. But currently we have the industrial economies. They are the advanced economies. Most of them concentrated in Europe. So you have Japan, you have the US, the UK, Germany, Italy. These are industrial economies. Here, value-adding activities are the order. So these economies will provide us with different income levels. And income is a major consumption factor. But one of the things that worry me about the economic environment is the family income, the issue of the family income. I've been abroad, I've visited my friends, and each place I go, I ask them, how do you plan with your incomes at the end of the month? And they told me that most of them told me that they put their incomes together. At the end of the month, the man brings income, the woman brings her income. They put it together, and then they make the expenditures. Whatever is left is put into savings. So in the advanced economies, people have what we call the real family income. In our part of the world, it's not so. Our women are clever. They have 2 types of income in the home, my income and our income. Where what she earns is for her, what the man earns is for us. With such a philosophy, how do we now have family income? So in our part of the world, a lot of our income is wasted simply because there's no accountability. I pray that our ladies of this age, of this level of education, will understand that they need a family income, which their income plus their husband's income put together. That is the family income. And that money is available to spend for the family. I was speaking to a certain young man, 21 years, who is a level 300 boy. And he's made this simple statement. He said, look, since I came to level 100, I've never received 1 CD from my mom. works in a bank, every money I have spent comes from the father, my father. The question is, do we have the concept of family income running in Ghana? Only few people have benefited from this, where the women have been generous to bring their money on the table. And even traditionally, when a woman says that, look, tells the mom, I'm going to use combine my money with my husband's money, they will tell her, no. And they'll use a very outmoded, archaic account proverb. What is that meant to teach? When you are born into a relationship which has no expiry date, maybe I don't want to, this is an MBA class, so I think people are not too experienced. But if you have some experienced people who are living together, who are married, they could share their small experience with us. Maybe one person, one man, one woman. How do you manage your family income if you are married? If I hear your voice, I know whether you are married or you are not. Yes. Anybody who is married and want to share the family income structure in the home with us?
Pakwesi.
Pakwesi, yes. Pakwesi, are you married?
Say no, don't mind Thomas.
Oh, why is Thomas mentioning somebody's name?
So he has plans of marrying soon.
Oh, no. The person must boldly say that he's married. I'm married. So we don't have anybody. Yes, I'm not surprised because this is an MBA class. We take people who graduated just a year ago. So I don't expect majority to be married, but I expect some one or two to have that experience in the class. Pakwesi, are you married?
No, sir.
Theophilus, are you married?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm married.
You are married.
Yes, sir.
How do you handle the issue of the family income?
So we do it together. We are transparent with our earnings, and then we have a plan and everything. So now it's not as it used to be. Now we have our women, although we have exceptions, but I believe we have a lot who are team players. So just that we are also their problem. Sometimes they give us the opportunity and we mess them. So they are also trying to be careful.
But haven't we also given them some opportunities and they've messed us?
Oh, there. Well, so then someone said we are getting feedback of what we give out. So if we change, I believe most of them will also change. So.
Well, thank you so much. You've lost. Thank you so much. The experience is that the two who married are supposed to be working partners and are supposed to put their monies together. After all, this is not it's not something that, it's not a relationship that you want to end. It's a full-time relationship. Till death do we part. And I'm told that the Bible says, submit to your husband. Submit, including your income. So put the incomes together and sit down and plan out of it. I'm sure it works better than when individuals are holding on to their incomes. The accounts also have a proverb. How do all these things help to do it? All right. The economic environment deals with just the income that is available. So we'll be looking at things like credit availability, employment, income levels, etc., etc. Then from there, we can also go to our natural environment. Natural environment is an environment that deals with the use of resources. Now, under this umbrella, you have increased cost of energy. Now, energy cost is becoming a major challenge to us. Higher pollution levels. Yes, people are afraid that if we don't talk, our environments will be polluted. Then you have the shortages of raw materials. Some raw materials are likely to go into shortage. For example, I listened to a man, Friends of the Earth and Rivers. He's called Nana Jumo Sapon. When he speaks, his main thrust is that the way we are managing our water bodies, if we are not careful, we go into shortages of water. And when we go into shortages of water, then certain industries will suffer. But all this time, the natural environment is pushing government to now play a watchdog role. Rather than folding their arms, they must be the policeman of the environment and punish people, those who destroy environment, who pollute the environment, punish them. And those who find a way of managing the environment, maintain the environment, reward them. That is what this force is about. Then again, you have the technological environment, technological environment. Now, technology is shaping all forms of business. So the environment has some huge impact on the success of business. Now, look, 10 years ago, and look at the accelerated pace of change that has come because of technology. We in Ghana, we used to go and queue at the P&T before we can do foreign calls. Today, people can just finish the lecture, pick their phone, and they talk to people all over the world. There's accelerated pace of change. There's also unlimited opportunities for innovation. Yes, new things are happening every day. People are setting up technological-based companies every day. And they are ruling the world now. How can Amazon, that was set up to distribute goods and other things in the online space, how can they be a major player in business in Ghana now, in the world now? But they have courtesy technology. But if you pick the best brands in the world today, about the first 5 or 6, they are all based on technology. Only Coca-Cola comes in as a non-technology based company. So technology is shaping the world now. Now because of that, you have huge or varying R&D budgets. Research and development budgets are increasing in companies. If you want us to cope with technology, then we must be setting aside money, investing it, and to be coping, giving people skills to cope with the technological developments. Government is also being forced to do increased regulation so that people will not be cloning human beings as a result of technology. So the technological environment is also affecting businesses in our part of the world today. Even in the world, it is a major force. Think again about the political legal environment. Now, the political legal environment also shapes the way businesses are done in countries. In developing countries, it is worse. When the late Rawlings was standing at a trade fair and told NDC, supporters of NDC, that they should avoid Apilo soap, because if they buy the soap, they will get the money to NDC to come and remove them. We thought that he was a military man, so nobody should mind him. But not long, Kufuor came to power, and we saw businesses that suffered. One of the businesses that suffered most was the business by Ediana. Ediana those days was representing Masai, has a company called Masai. They were representing companies like Seat. They were selling Seat cars in Ghana. They were representing IBM products in Ghana. When Kufuor came to power, that man became the biggest sufferer. Even though his passport was seized from him, and anytime he wants to travel, he must place a request for it. Eventually, all those businesses collapsed because people within the government had written letters to the principals, asking them to terminate the collaborations. Clearly, in Ghana, the lesson is that it's not about whichever party comes to power. The rule is that never combine your business with politics. Otherwise, you may be in serious trouble one day. Never combine your business with politics, because politicians, you can't trust them. And they are always looking for your business. The last environmental force is the socio-cultural environment. Socio-cultural environment. Culture is the way we view ourselves and the way we view the society. Or it manifests itself in our values, our beliefs, our norms, our traditions. This helps us to understand culture. But if culture has anything to do, it shapes and affects our consumption patterns. But there are two types of culture. What we call the core culture and the manifest culture. The core, C-O-R-E, the core culture and the manifest culture. The core culture stays on our hearts. It lives on our hearts. The manifest culture is what manifests itself in our daily operations. So culture influences oneself. It influences our view of the universe, our view of nature, our view of society, our view of organization, and our view of others. Clearly, the culture of the people influences their consumption. If you really wanted to know what culture does, move from here and go to Togo. Togo is our neighbors, our neighboring country. As soon as you enter Togo, you realize that no, these people are completely different from us. But when you go to Lagos, and you realize that, the people are, there's a close resemblance between us and them. Because we were all colonized by one master. Remember, culture is dynamic. Culture is not static. So culture keeps changing. And if you really want to understand people and their consumption, find out how they are changing over and over. Somebody went to Argentina. An American businessman went to Argentina. When he got there, he realized that in Argentina, they don't have frozen meat shops. So he saw it as an opportunity. Went back to America, mobilized money, and came and opened frozen meat shops across Argentina. After 1 month, he realized that sales was not going high. And the few people who were buying from him were the expatriates in Argentina. They were moving to the shop to buy. The locals were not buying. He hired a marketing research firm to decide how things must be done or why things are the way they were. The marketing research firm found out that in Argentina, people buy meat only when they see fresh blood in it. Once they don't see fresh blood, they won't buy. So he realized that, look, what he saw as an opportunity, lack of frozen meat shops, was rather a major threat to frozen shops. People will only buy meat when they see blood in it. Fresh. Clearly, he lost a lot of business in Argentina. All we are saying is that you need to understand the culture of the people, get a clear view of the culture before you do any business. But what you might see as an opportunity may be a huge threat. All right. These are some of the forces that shapes the marketing environment. Questions, comments? Questions, comments, and contributions? Yes, Nanaya.
Hello, Prof. Please, I want to know whether all these environmental analysis that you put in place can be explained as the pestle analysis of the business.
We put them together and it's called a pestle.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah, I'm saying that if you want to summarize them, then it's called the pestle.
The pestle, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question or comments? Any other question or comments? Okay, then that would be a perfect place for us to stop and think about the next topic, winning markets, market-oriented strategic planning. We are going to teach marketing strategy the next time I meet you. Thank you. I remember your course rep was asking me that there's another period on Friday, 4 to something. I said, wow, what is this? I've been teaching this marketing management for almost 20 years now. I've never taught twice. I've always taught 2 hours. On the EMBA is the same thing, 2 hours. On the weekend MBA is the same thing, 2 hours. So please, 2 hours is what we need to run through the course. Thank you. I've seen 2 people in their hands up. Harrison.
Hello, Prof.
Harrison, what's your comment?
Sir, the comment is simple. Concerning the recording of the lecture,
yeah,
I realize you are recording yourself, and we will be happy if we can get the recording so that at an appropriate time we reflect and go over the lecture notes together with the slides.
Harrison, thank you so much. I promise you get the recordings. My TA Prince is sick. He's going to the hospital, but I'm sure by the middle of next week you get the 3 recordings that would have done. All of them.
Thank you very much.
For them too. All right, thank you so much. Thank you. If there are no questions, there are no comments, then see you next week and prepare for winning market-oriented strategic planning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Yes, thank you too.